So this is my review of the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and I can tell you it's absolute toilet. It's really bad. And I think there's a real problem with this kind of trend with everyone looking for that silver bullet to get passive income. You've perhaps seen quite a lot of videos on how to earn so many thousands a day with passive income. It's one of these things that's worked for a few people, and they then have tried to sell this idea. It's not a pyramid scheme, but it's got that kind of like dishonest and lazy kind of mentality, and I didn't find it a very useful book. But before I go on to all the reasons why it's not very good and you shouldn't buy it, I'll just say the one useful thing that I did learn. There's a difficulty when you're a leader, when you're a manager, that people come to you asking for help with really what you'd consider to be quite mundane and insignificant things. And one tip that he does give is give them a kind of limit. Say, in fact, if you can solve your problem at less than £400, go ahead and do it and let me know how it goes. And for me as a leader, just the idea of enabling my staff to make those decisions, and you know, if you want to spend a bit of money on it, that's fine as well. If you've got an idea to solve it, come to me with a solution rather than the problem. And that's going to make your life a lot easier as a leader of people, not having to think through those problems for them. And for me now, I more often get people come to me and say, oh, I had this issue, I thought I'd do this about it, and it seems to have worked. And so that's the model of distributed leadership, where you're enabling the people around you to make decisions without your input. But this book is more about avoiding people and avoiding work. It's not really about success, and it's not really about leadership. You see, leadership is about developing other people, and this book is more about using other people. He talks a lot about ways to fob people off and use things like auto email responses just to mean that people aren't going to chase you up for things. He talks about employing virtual assistants from countries like India to do personal and business tasks for you. And you know, he talks about how to find good ones and how to make sure you're getting quality out of them. But if you think that you're going to achieve success through these means immediately, then the reality is going to be very different. So I'm not arguing whether this worked for Tim Ferriss or not. And maybe it can work for a few people. Maybe the 4-Hour Workweek is a possibility if you're up for laying the groundwork of a portfolio of real estate and putting in the hard work that it's going to take to get to that point. But if you choose to read this book and use the methods that he suggests you put in place, then expect the reality to be these two things. It's not going to be something that you just switch on and tomorrow you're sitting on a beach ignoring your emails and ignoring people. And if you take every shortcut in this book and achieve that 4-hour work week, then expect the remaining 164 hours of the week to be pretty empty, really. Because you're not going to get much of a sense of achievement for having built a business which works on basically scams and being hard to reach. So I don't have a physical copy of this book because I listen to books on Audible, because I do find it's difficult to find time to sit down and read with my life as a father of a young family. But I recommend, if you have a commute at all, then that is a really good time to be consuming some books. So Audible is a great way to do that. There's an Amazon affiliate link in the description if you wanted to check that out. If you want to start the free trial, I do get a small payment from that. I've got a link to the book and a link to the book on Audible, but don't buy it. Spend time actually thinking about meaningful things which are actually going to give you a sense of purpose and a reason why you're doing things that you're doing. And yes, it might be a little bit of a longer journey to being financially independent than taking all these shortcuts, but at least it'll be something real.